welcome to another edition of Educator of the Year, where we come together and try to find that one person each year who has contributed a ton to Christian education. Of course, my name is Bailey. I'm your host, and I don't want to keep you waiting as we jump into this year's Educator of the Year candidate, who is Robert Raikes. So Robert Raikes was born in Ladybell Gatehouse in Gloucester, England in 1736. He was the oldest child of Mary Drew and his father, Robert Raikes Sr. His father was a newspaper publisher for the Gloucester Journal, which he would later in life pass on to his son, who would go on to use it to help educate many, many people. Robert was educated at the Cripps School in Gloucester, and on December 23rd, he was married to his beautiful bride, Anne Trigg, and they had 10 children, 3 sons and 7 daughters. So you know he must have been passionate about children and education, because he could field nearly a football team on his own. As an English philanthropist, as an Anglican layman, a former British military, Raikes was a well-rounded individual who was passionate about seeing prison reform, educating those prisoners, and educating children. Initially, Robert was concerned regarding the inmates of the Gloucester prison, which was known for being a very horrible place. He was passionate for the need of prison reform and would use his journalism platform to share the terrible conditions that he saw in the prison system as a visitor. However, he had an interesting encounter one evening that changed his passion for education. The story went something like this. He was walking down the road one day and he saw a group of children fighting, and he ran up to them, and these children looked completely poor and just as overworked as the prisoners that he had just been seeing. So he goes over, he breaks up this fight, and tells all the kids, you need to break this up and go home, right? And a nearby neighbor he saw, and he said, "Who are these children?" The neighbor said, "Pay no mind to them. Those are what everyone calls the white slaves of England, because they work 12-hour days in the mills and sweatshops, and most of their parents are in the prison or are dead." Robert cringed and was heartbroken for these children. "Well, when do they go to school?" he asked. The woman replied, "Oh, they don't go to school. They have to work to live." This encounter refocused Robert Raikes' passion from the prison system to educating children. Raikes opened his first Sunday school in July of 1780 and chose to do it on Sunday because that was the one day the children had off work and was the one day they caused the most harm to themselves and to others. Soon after beginning this Sunday school environment, Robert Raikes and his friend who helped him, Reverend Thomas Stock, had over 100 children attending between the ages of 6 and 14. They began to see great behavior improvements as the children came week after week. And after 3 years of studying these environments and taking note, Raikes decided to print a story about this new Sunday school. Soon, about 4,000 new Sunday schools started all over England and in small towns. And Robert even used his printing press to publish books and spelling books, to publish Bible studies and copies of scriptures for these Sunday schools. So as we look as to why Robert Raikes should be our winner of this year's Educator of the Year, I leave you with this quote that he shared with some friends about legacy. Robert said, "One day we will grow old and we will die, but the world will not die with us. The world marches forth on the feet of little children." The world marches forth on the feet of little children. This is why Robert Raikes deserves this year's Educator of the Year. I want to thank our sponsors at Christianity Today, infed.org, and critchbaptist.org for today's content for this episode. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon.